good morning.
I'd like you to meet Elaina Ramsey, our guest speaker today.
Excellent.
Yes. Did you and Roman later?
Extraordinaire.
Did you get any
Yes.
bruises from yesterday?
Some little ones and various weird scratches from Velcro on other couch, like cats. But I got this. I was the MVP jammer. That's awesome. So
Really?
rock it out. Yeah.
That's really cool. But she was in there
Please join us. This next week. After the
name for
next week for the annual meeting after the service. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. I had to add 2 announcements that were not in here. Okay.
You're good. I'm just gonna make sure that the part when it says has a name for you,
Okay.
which it'll be me and Nikki. So.
Okay. Good.
Because I don't have to talk except for the story, so I won't be up here. I will not be up here with y'all.
And then there's no other place about the annual meeting other than, Andy said there's a slide for it, but there's nothing in. I'm like,
Oh, you can add that. If you
that's what I did.
Yeah.
For the annual meeting
after the service.
I was at
Right next Sunday. Yeah.
which is tonight, and then next week is the annual meeting after the service, and there's a slide for it, but there was just no
Okay.
announcement.
Yeah.
So anyway, I guess that
Good morning. I'm Reverend Kathleen Fowler, and my pronouns are she, her. I am so happy to serve as your Minister of Pastoral Care. And welcome to First Unitarian Universalist Church of Columbus. We're glad you're here. Please rise in body or spirit to sing The Fire of Commitment, one of my favorite songs. It's number 1028 in the teal hymnal.
Good morning. I'm Julie Pincinot, and I'm happy to serve you as a member of your Board of Trustees. Welcome to First UU, whether you are joining us online or in person, and whether you are a new face or a familiar one, we are glad that you are here. If this is your first visit, please stop by the welcome table out in our gallery for your first-time visitor gift. And everyone, please let us know you are here today by scanning the QR code on your order of service or on the screen. Here you can check in, find our order of service, the Joys and Sorrows form, and our donation page. This afternoon, Willow Otten's recital to raise funds for her trip to Italy is today at 4 p.m. right here. And please join us next week for the annual meeting, which is after the service. And finally, now is the time to submit your joys and sorrows using the QR code throughout the service, or the paper forms back on the candle table, which is over there. Anything we receive by the end of the time for all ages will be shared later during the caring meditation. And we also invite any children who want to help bring in the light to meet Amber and Nikki out in the gallery.
It is now time for our children to bring in the light. I offer this chalice lighting written by members of the Oberlin UU Fellowship. We light this chalice to find inner peace, love for one another, and faith in ourselves. Also to be welcoming to whomever we greet and kind to all living creatures. So gather around this light of hope as we share this time together.
Thank you, Broshi, for your help lighting the chalice this morning. Good morning. Good morning. I'm Amber Scott, your Director of Religious Exploration, and my pronouns are she, they. Summer class starts today. Toddler care is available in room 101, and children aged 3 years and up are invited to hang out with Jen and Kara for time playing together and crafting together in room 201. Middle and high schoolers are invited to enjoy free-range board games and art activities in A and B or Beach Hall during the service. Please remember that parents and caregivers are responsible for children not in class and should know their whereabouts at all times. Today's story is called Jacob's New Dress and is one of the titles we hope to feature in the youth group's band book library. Written by Sarah and Ian Hoffman and illustrated by Chris Case. Jacob ran to join Emily in the dress-up corner. Emily slid into a shiny yellow dress while Jacob wiggled into a sparkly pink dress. They both reached for the crown, but Jacob got there first. "I'll be the princess," he said. Christopher frowned. "Jacob, why do you always wear the girl clothes?" Put on the knight armor. That's what a boy wears. Christopher, stop telling us what to do, said Emily. Ms. Wilson heard the hubbub. What's going on, kids? Jacob is wearing girl clothes, complained Christopher. The dress-up corner is where we come to use our imaginations, Ms. Wilson said. You could be a dinosaur, a princess, a farmer, anything. Christopher, what do you want to be? A boy, Christopher scowled. Ms. Wilson smiled. Jacob, you try it. What new thing could you imagine being? A firefighter? A policeman? Ms. Wilson, Jacob said proudly, I'm the princess. How was school today? Mom asked, studying Jacob's face. Fun? Christopher says boys can't wear dresses, said Jacob. Can they? Of course they can. Mom hugged Jacob. Why don't you get the dress you wore on Halloween and play in that? Jacob pulled on his witch's dress and twirled. He loved the way the black lace swirled around him. I want to wear my dress to school. Jacob's mom frowned. I don't think so, she said. That's for dress up at home. It could get dirty at school. Then can I get a regular dress? A dress I can wear to school? Mom was quiet. Let me think about that, she said. Jacob wondered what to play next. Pirate? Princess? Bird? Heaping 3 towels on the floor, Jacob made a nest. He wrapped another towel around himself for feathers. Snug and warm, he imagined what a school dress would look like. The next morning, Jacob stood on the stairs wrapped in a giant bath towel. What are you wearing? Asked Mom. It's like a dress, but I can get it dirty, Jacob said, pointing to the towel. I made it. Dad frowned. You can't go to school like that. Put some shorts and a shirt on under that dress thing, Mom said. And hurry, we're late for school. What's that? Demanded Christopher. Jacob moved closer to his mom. Good morning, Christopher, said Jacob's mom. Jacob's wearing something new he invented. Isn't it nice? Christopher didn't answer. I want a dress like that, cried Emily. Where'd you get it? It's not a dress, said Jacob, glancing up at his mom. It's a dress thing. Jacob saw Emily's smile and grinned back. I can make you one. The playground was full of laughter and running feet as the children played tag. Christopher sneaked up, yanked off Jacob's towel, and ran away, whooping. Christopher is mean, hissed Emily. Jacob watched Christopher wave the towel like a captured flag and started to cry. How was school today? Mom asked. Christopher stole my dress thing, said Jacob, and the tears flooded back. Mom hugged Jacob. I'm sorry. Christopher's not always a good friend. Mom, whispered Jacob, can you help me make a real dress? Mom didn't answer, and the longer she didn't answer, the less Jacob could breathe. Let's get the sewing machine, she said finally. Jacob felt the air refill his body. He grinned, and Mom smiled back. There are all sorts of ways to be a boy, she said, right? Dad looked up from his book. Mom and I made a dress, said Jacob quietly. Dad studied the dress, and Jacob started to get that can't breathe feeling again. I can see you worked hard on that dress, said Dad. Are you sure you want to wear it to school? Jacob nodded. Dad nodded back and smiled. Well, it's not what I would wear, but you look great. Jacob skipped up the front walk to school. He found Emily inside and showed her his new dress. They found matching colors in their clothes and laughed, purple and white. Do you want to play dress up? Asked Emily. No, monkey bars. Together they ran to the playground. My mom and I made this dress, Jacob said proudly at circle time. We used her sewing machine. That's wonderful, said Ms. Wilson. Was the sewing machine hard to use? Why does Jacob wear dresses? Interrupted Christopher. Ms. Wilson paused. I think Jacob wears what he's comfortable in, just like you do. Not very long ago, little girls couldn't wear pants. Could you imagine that? Christopher shook his head. I asked my dad, and he said boys don't wear dresses. Jacob rubbed the hem of his dress, looking at the little stitches he'd sewn himself. He could hear Ms. Wilson and the other kids talking, but their words sounded far away. On the playground, Christopher yelled, "Let's play tag. Boys versus girls. Jacob, you're on the girls' team." A bunch of kids laughed. Jacob felt his dress surrounding him, like armor, soft, cottony, magic armor. Christopher, I made this dress, and I'm proud of it, and I'm going to wear it. And you know what else? Jacob tagged Christopher. You're it. Jacob sprinted across the playground, his dress spreading out like wings. The end. In this story, Jacob seeks the bodily autonomy to dress how he wants to dress and simply wants his choices to be respected. With the support of his loved ones, he keeps going and doesn't give up, even when things feel difficult. I now invite the congregation to form a sheltering arc of love as we sing our young people back to their families and out to class.
Good morning. I'm Linda Smith. My pronouns are she, her. I'm a retired minister, a member of your Anti-Racist Allies, and your Justice Action Ministry Coordinator on Healthcare. I'm the liaison for the Jubilee Fund of Faith Choice Ohio, where our speaker is from, Faith Choice Ohio, and this congregation is a community partner with the Jubilee Fund, Ohio's first faith-based abortion justice fund. The fund provides practical support for abortion seekers, including transportation, lodging, childcare, and spiritual counseling. Together, we can positively impact the lives of the many thousands of our neighbors, family, and friends who seek abortion care each year. And together we can make sure no one who seeks an abortion has to make that journey alone. Now, let us center ourselves with these words from Reverend Dr. Howard Thurman. Reverend Thurman went to Asia in 1935 and spoke with Gandhi about the power of nonviolent direct action as a mechanism for social change. He served as the spiritual advisor to Jesse Jackson, Marion White Edelman, and Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and others in the civil rights movement. Thurman died in 1981. His words, "Here is a mystery. If sweeping through the door of my heart, there moves continually a genuine love for you. It bypasses all your indifference and gets through to you at your center. You are powerless to do anything about it. You may keep alive in devious ways the fires of your bitter heart, but they cannot get through to me. Underneath the surface of all the tension, Something else is at work. It is utterly impossible for you to keep another from loving you. And now our choir has a treat that you will participate in.
Good morning. My name is Brandon Moss. My pronouns are he, him. I'm the director of music here at First UU. This morning, we want you to be the choir, along with the singers who volunteered to show up this morning. So we've got a song today called Resilience, a very important song that the choir members up here are gonna sing for you and teach you. We're gonna have you practice, and then you're gonna sing it with us, and they're gonna harmonize along with you. So as soon as they get situated here, I will have them sing it for you a couple times. I should mention that if you enjoy yourself this morning, we have a summer pickup choir next week at church, and you should be a part of it. You just have to show up at 9 a.m. because the service next week starts at 10, and we'll teach you a song from scratch, and you can be part of the choir. Here is Resilience, and you're gonna get to sing it in just a second.
Resilience, we are strong, shoulder to shoulder, keep moving on. Resilience, make a new plan, stand up again and say, yes, we can. Resilience, we are strong, shoulder to shoulder, keep moving on. Resilience, make a new plan, stand up again and say, yes, we can.
So now you get to practice. The words are up on the screen. Sing it with us. Let's do it twice, okay? Ready and go.
Resilience, we are strong, shoulder to shoulder, keep moving on. Resilience, make a new plan, stand up again and say, yes, we can. Resilience, we are strong, shoulder to shoulder, keep moving on. Resilience, make a new plan, stand up again and say, yes, we can.
So we're going to sing it. You're going to just keep singing that over and over again, and the choir's going to start to harmonize with you. And then at the very end, you'll see me do this, and you just say resilience one last time, and then it's over. I think you might, if you're willing and able, you might want to stand because this song is going to make you want to stand, all right? All right. Okay.
Resilience, we are strong, shoulder to shoulder, keep moving on. Resilience, make a new plan, stand up again and say, yes, we can. Resilience, we are strong, shoulder to shoulder, keep moving on. Resilience, make a new plan, stand up again and say, yes, we can. Resilience, we are strong, shoulder to shoulder, keep moving on. Resilience, make a new plan, stand up again and say, yes, we can. Resilience, we are strong, shoulder to shoulder, keep moving on. Resilience, make a new plan, stand up again and say, yes, we can. Resilience, we are strong, shoulder to shoulder, keep moving on. Resilience, make a new plan, stand up again and say, yes, we can. Resilience, we are strong, shoulder to shoulder, keep moving on. Resilience, make a new plan, stand up again and say, yes, we can. Resilience.
For our caring meditation this morning, I offer to you What is Success by Ralph Waldo Emerson. I turn to a Unitarian religious and spiritual ancestor, Emerson, for his wisdom about making choices in life. Emerson, you may remember, earned a degree at Harvard Divinity School and became an ordained Unitarian minister in Boston in 1829. What is success? To laugh often and much, to win the respect of intelligent people and the affection of children, to learn the appreciation of honest critics, endure the betrayal of false friends, to appreciate the beauty, to find the best in others, to leave the world a bit better, whether by a healthy child, a garden patch, or a redeemed social condition, to know even one life has breathed easier because you have lived. This is to have succeeded. So this morning, we hold up June is Gun Violence Awareness Month, and the 2nd to the 4th of June is Wear Orange Weekend. President Biden offered these words marking these special days. In the last year alone, we've lost more than 40,000 Americans to gun violence, and countless other survivors of gun violence will carry the trauma for the rest of their lives. He concluded his remarks by saying, "And we pray for the day that we can honor the memory with meaningful action to address a crisis of gun violence that has gone on for far too long." May we honor the worth and dignity of all beings, responding out of love and compassion. We hold up June is Pride Month and is a vibrant and inclusive celebration that honors the GLBTQ+ community, their history, their achievements on ongoing struggle for equality. This annual event serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of acceptance, diversity, and love. May hatred against LGBTQ+ individuals cease. May all experience acceptance and love. And in reflecting on the importance of choice, we hold up. When a struggling California man recently attempted to alleviate his financial stress by robbing a bank, Michael Armas Sr. recognized it was out of sadness and not malice. Armas, walking to his bank, noticed a former neighbor speaking to a teller with irritation and depression in his voice. Stepping in with his words, Armas diffused a potentially explosive situation as the bank robber claimed he was carrying a bomb. I just approached him and asked, "What's wrong? You don't have a job?" He said, "There's nothing in this town for me. I just want to go to prison." So I took him outside and gave the man a hug. He started crying. The police arrived at that moment to take the distraught man into custody for attempted robbery, later stating that he was, in fact, not armed at all. May we respond to the world out of love and not fear, remembering Emerson's encouragement to strive to redeem social conditions. And we have one caring card this morning. Kyle P. will participate in Ohio Special Olympics Summer Games at the end of June, held at OSU, competing in a sport that he loves, bowling. And we have one announcement. We wish a very happy birthday to Heidi B. And we have no pastoral listener this morning, so let me get my phone. Because there's important things that come in the morning on Sunday. Samuel S. is visiting from the First UU Church of San Antonio. Very happy to spend some time with y'all today. And as a reminder, any caring cards submitted after 4 p.m. on Saturday will be read the following Sunday. We hold these joys and sorrows in our hearts and all of those yet unspoken, gently.
I read this morning the words of Reverend Molly Hash Gordon of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Columbia, Missouri. Quote, "I want to challenge the assumption that religious people oppose abortion. I am a deeply faithful person, and I joyfully support abortion access." Now the words of Maharat Roy Pinker Niece, an Orthodox Jew. I hope that we start a conversation about what faith means today, that this is not something that is solely defined by a small group of people who want to see their religious tradition enacted into law. There are people of deep and profound faith across traditions, across this country, who have wide-ranging views about abortion. And finally, the words of Reverend Darrell Gray. As a progressive Baptist, the freedom to determine one's own life path is central to my faith. Abortion bans restrict this freedom by preventing pregnant people from making their own decisions about their bodies and lives in accordance with their faith. And now I'd like to introduce Elaina Ramsey, our speaker today. Elaina is the Executive Director of Faith Choice Ohio. We are honored to welcome her today. Elaina has been with us before, and we are grateful she accepted our invitation to be back and bring us this message of hope, justice, and resilience.
Good afternoon and greetings, everyone. It's great to be here again. Thank you so much, Reverend Linda, for this warm welcome and the opportunity to share this reflection today. One that I hope will open up new possibilities for our hearts, our minds, and our life together. Now, as you've heard, I have the great honor of leading Faith Choice Ohio, where we partner with congregations like yours to advocate and agitate for abortion justice and reproductive freedom. As you can imagine, I enjoy talking about abortion care. It is near and dear to my heart, as I know it is for many of you who are currently collecting signatures to get abortion and reproductive rights on the ballot this fall. But I'm here to talk about something just as critical as abortion, and that is hope. Now, this word has 4 simple letters, and yet hope can be elusive and hard to come by at times. You see, in my line of work, our backs are often against a wall as we navigate shame and stigma and our gerrymandered legislature that is hell-bent on stripping Ohioans of their human rights and their sacred dignity. Just this past week, I provided pastoral support to a 38-year-old single mom with 2 children who is barely scraping by and now grappling with an unwanted pregnancy. To complicate matters, she's 26 weeks along in her pregnancy, and due to our unjust laws, can no longer access legal abortion care here in Ohio. She might be able to obtain an abortion out of state, but the barriers are high and the chances are slim to none. And she will likely endure a forced birth and even more economic hardship in the future. Now, I know this congregation is no stranger to these types of difficult realities. You have been on the front lines of advocating against abortion bans and all the attacks on our bodily autonomy, particularly as these attacks continue to be directed, or rather misdirected, at our trans youth, our drag story hours, and our loved ones in the LGBTQIA, Two-Spirit, and more community. I don't know about you, but I get weary sometimes in this long struggle for justice, equity, and liberation. It can be tempting to throw up our hands in defeat or despair, or to become apathetic. Perhaps you found yourself quietly asking whether it really matters if you raise your voice, whether it makes a difference if you call your elected leaders or show up to that protest. Or perhaps you've heard others say that they don't vote because it doesn't really change anything. Sound familiar? Well, I don't blame anyone for feeling like this, and I'm certainly not here to compel anyone to be optimistic about the state of the world that we live in today, or to encourage you to fake it until you make it. But I am here to remind you, and really to remind me, of the resilience of our ancestors, to remind us that they too faced similar doubts and struggles and fears, and yet they endured. As we celebrate Pride season this month, I'm reminded of another boy by the name of Joseph, who also wore a dress, much like the one we heard about in the storybook about Jacob. In the Hebrew Bible, the prophet Joseph is described as a dreamer who is known for wearing a coat of many colors, or as what some theologians regard as a long rainbow-colored robe or dress. After much bullying and teasing, Joseph was betrayed by his own siblings and then sold into slavery and imprisoned for 13 years. But as the story goes, Joseph, the prisoner, becomes a prince and eventually rules over Egypt for 80 years. It's a classic story of victory and vindication, but more than that, this is a story of valor, a story of hope in spite of betrayal and abandonment and systemic oppression, a story of a young man who refused to dress like everyone else and who held onto hope even while enslaved and locked away. And it's a story of resistance and resiliency and of daring to dream that another world is possible. Joseph's story also reminds me of Marsha P. Johnson. Marsha, pay it forward, Johnson. Pay it no mind, Johnson. A Black trans woman and one of the leading figures of the Stonewall riots, who galvanized the LGBTQ rights movement in the 60s and 70s. Now, much to the dismay of her own family, Marcia, who was assigned a male at birth, started wearing dresses at the age of 5. And so she ended up leaving home at the age of 17 and moved to New York City, where she often lived unhoused as a drag queen, a sex worker, and as a beloved trans activist. Deeply respected by her community and her chosen family, Marcia was known for her strong Christian faith and for wearing fun, colorful, thrifted outfits and crowns of flowers in her hair. Deeply respected, she is widely regarded today as the mother of the Stonewall riots and selflessly dedicated her life to advocating for homeless LGBTQ youth and those impacted by HIV and AIDS. So when you hear the expression that the first Pride was a riot, let us, of course, remember Marcia and all that she poured into the Stonewall uprising. But more than that, I hope you remember that Stonewall was not only a riot, but also a radical act of defiant hope. An act of resilient hope by Marsha P. Johnson and other trans and queer ancestors who refused to settle for injustice and indignity. An act of embodied hope by Marsha, who put her body on the line for the sake of our bodily autonomy today. From Marsha to Joseph, let us remember that we are descended from a colorful and long line of hope bearers. And that legacy of hope, it lives through us and in us, through you and me. But my friends, let us not be naive. Over the years, I've come to learn that we must actively choose hope each and every day. This is not a passive act, but one that demands our daily assent of our hearts, our minds, and our spirits. Due to state-sanctioned violence and oppression, we are up against forces that not only seek to deny us our human rights, but also threaten to destroy the very spirits and lives of those whom we love, particularly our queer, trans, Black, and brown family members, neighbors, and friends. To choose hope, we must go all in with eyes wide open. We must have a measured hope that is grounded in realism, knowing that hope is not without fear and not without cost. To demonstrate this, I want to tell you a little bit about my dear friends who practice both courage and intentionality while choosing hope on a daily basis. My friends, let's call them J and P, are expecting their first child this fall. For many years, Jay wrestled with the prospect of becoming a parent due to very real financial concerns and generational trauma. But together, after much prayer and deliberation, Jay and P decided to build their family. And I'm so excited because in a few weeks, I get to attend their baby shower at their home church, which is located in a rural community. And best of all, they've asked all of us to join them right after the shower and to march in their small yet mighty local pride parade. And of course, I forgot to mention that J and P are a queer couple, and that P is a proud trans man who is carrying their first pregnancy. I am simply in awe at how J and P continue to choose each other, to choose love, to choose hope. time and time again. In this day and age, it takes profound hope and courage to continue a pregnancy, let alone end one. It takes guts and defiant hope for P to give birth to a baby, especially while living in such a transphobic state and world. And it takes hope beyond hope for J and P to unapologetically be themselves and to love each other in their church, in their community, and everywhere in between. Through their faith and actions, J and P continue to teach me what it means to choose hope day in and day out. They fear for their family. They fear for their lives and their futures, and rightly so. But they keep going. They keep organizing and speaking out, and they keep dreaming and building a better world, one step at a time. It is said that we make the way by walking. Well, our spiritual and earthly ancestors have paved the way for us. We don't need to have all the answers, but it's up to us to take the next best step. From the prophet Joseph to Marsha P. Johnson to J and P, we are bonded together and made strong by their collective hope and enduring witness. With this assurance, may we, as people of faith who believe in divine mysteries, may we invoke the wisdom and resilience of our ancestors who made a way out of no way. As believers in things unseen and yet to be, may we have the courage to transform the world and dream of a better future. And as hope bearers, may we keep pressing on, knowing that against all odds, justice is coming, and love will have the last word. Always. May it be so.
Thank you, Elaina. Such words of wisdom and hope and resilience help keep us all going. And we're happy to help support you as well. And Faith Choice Ohio. Now the offering. During the month of June, we are proud to partner with Kaleidoscope Youth Center. Since 1994, Kaleidoscope Youth Center has been Ohio's most prominent and longest-standing organization solely dedicated to serving queer youth. KYC works to provide a safer place, programming and leadership opportunities so that youth can be free to explore who they are and empowered to become their confident, most authentic selves. Now we'll watch a video to learn more about the critical work at KYC.
Written to all the queer youth we serve and to all those who love them. At Kaleidoscope Youth Center, you belong. Here, belonging means being exactly who you were meant to be. Here, belonging means believing that you are worthy to take up space, to take in love, to take off the weight of fitting in and start standing out. Here, belonging means beginning on your own terms, in your own words, in your own power. Consider this a rallying cry back to your own heart, an anthem for all the moments you didn't give up. This is an invitation to push aside all that limits you, undermines or defines you, an invitation to fully belong. This is your birthright. This is your love chorus. This is the magical, weird, and beautiful thing called your life. Own it. Begin where you are. Believe what you're worth. Belong where you stand.
Reactionary right-wing groups and individuals are deliberately intimidating, criminalizing, and inciting hate against transgender people and their families. Nearly 400 new bills nationwide and some federal bills have been introduced in 2023, attacking the free speech and expression, equality and dignity of transgender, non-binary, and gender non-conforming people. Some bills would criminalize the very existence of transgender and gender-expansive people. Our Unitarian Universalist values challenge us to be actively compassionate and defend the rights and dignity of all people. We are clear and unapologetic. Our LGBTQIA+ siblings are sacred, whole, and divine. There are ways you can help our sacred siblings during this unprecedented time. You can provide interstate immigration support to trans folks who are unsafe in their current community. If you're a business owner or know someone hiring, please consider hiring someone from this community to fill a living wage position. And finally, if you have space in your home and can house someone who needs help now, please contact our staff. The offering will now be gratefully received. Thank you for your generosity. Beautiful, Nathan. These closing words to remind you about the fact that the religious right for decades has overshadowed the myriad of faith voices that support abortion rights. Probably forgotten, but I'm here to remind you about the clergy consultation service on abortion, a network of clergy that was formed in 1967 before Roe made abortion legal. My minister in Detroit, Michigan was part of this. Helped people go across to Canada to get an abortion. From a safe abortion from licensed medical professionals. In a 2017 retrospective, the Time magazine reported that the network grew to include more than 2,000 clergy and estimated that it had helped at least 250,000 people, more likely 500,000 women, obtain abortions in the half-decade before Roe. Please rise as you are willing and able to sing our closing hymn, Filled with Loving Kindness, number 1031 in our teal hymnal. You can reach out to hold the hand of your neighbor or cross your hands over your chest to show that you would not like to hold hands.
May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be whole. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be whole. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be whole.
Please join me in speaking First UU's vision statement as we extinguish our chalice together. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of vision. As we go forth, let us heal and transform ourselves and our vision through reason and love.